Ew. Smells like it's time for another Shy Life podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Hello. It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Boy, he's not all that shy is right.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life podcast.
Hello, Paul.
Excellent.
639. Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm alright. What are you up to? I'm playing Fortnite with Warren and Troby at the moment, so I really shouldn't be introducing an episode, but I am. But there we go. So what's this episode going to be about? Well, I'm going on a little day trip. Yes, I'm going on a day trip to London, to Greenwich. Yeah, I'm going to go on a boat with Harry, of all people. Would you believe it? Anyway, well, I suppose I better go back to playing Fortnite. You better listen to the theme music, and then when we come back, I'll be on my way to Greenwich, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The High Life, the Shy Life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, captors. How are you?
You quite like a big bang, don't you, Paul?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. Do you think he has?
I love the Yeti test. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps every day.
Has everyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all green and meaty. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast.
I like that. Yeah.
Marvellous, Paul. Hi there.
Hi, listeners. I'm on my way into London. I'm on the train. It's very slow at the moment. It's just leaving Walton on Thames. Yes, here we go. We sat there for about 5 minutes, not sure quite why, but we're moving again now. Next stop Hersham, next stop Esher, next stop Surbiton, next stop Wimbledon, next stop Clapham Junction, next stop Vauxhall, next stop Waterloo. I can't remember if I told you what we're doing today. Well, I'll tell you some of it. I won't tell you part of it in case the other part doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm going into London. This was a postponed trip that I hoped to do, I don't know, February or March, but on day of recording it's April Fool's Day, but there won't be any fools, any tricks happening today. There better not be. I just want plain sailing. Ironic really, considering what we're going to be doing. Well, not exactly sailing, but anyway. So yes, I'm going to Waterloo. I'm getting the bus from Waterloo to Greenwich. Now I could get the tube there, but the bus has been recommended, and it probably is better. At least I get to see as well. At least I get to see the journey too. And at Greenwich, I'm meeting Harry and his husband Eric. I think. I don't think Eric will be speaking though. He doesn't do podcasts, as Harry said. That's our thing. It's true, it is. But yeah, we're having lunch in Greenwich, I think. Not sure if we're getting a picnic lunch or going to a Chinese place or going to Wetherspoons or anyway. We'll see when we get there. We might be going to the market. I'm a bit low energy today though, so we'll see. And also, we postponed the trip last time, partly because I wasn't feeling that good, and partly because the weather wasn't that good. And it's April and it's still not good compared to this time last year, where I was having a picnic with my mum and dad in the New Forest. There's been no sign of picnics or picnic weather so far this, I suppose we should call it spring. It doesn't feel very spring-like. So, yes. So, we're going to Greenwich, probably having lunch, maybe going to the market, then getting on the boat, then I'm going back to Waterloo, and then something else might be happening, or it might not be happening. I only say that because if the weather isn't good, I might not be able to lure this person out. They've been on the podcast before, but not for a while. But I really should say no more because it'll be a disappointment if they don't show up. Yeah, so let's just do it one step at a time. And at the moment the step is heading into London, and we've just done Hersham, and now we're about to arrive at Esher. So I'm going to put my ears in and listen to something, and anyway, I'll be back in minutes, and hopefully we'll either be in Waterloo or maybe even on the bus. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I might record in Waterloo just to give myself a break, a quick rest as I progress across the station. But anyway, I'll have a listen to something momentarily. Hi listeners, train brought me on platform 4, which is the right end of the station, so hurrah! Like I said, I am having I can't speak. Like I said, I am having a rest before I go down to the bus. There's quite a lot of people around, and yeah, it's not far to the bus really. I was contemplating getting a coffee, but I don't think I could be bothered unless I actually pass one. Most of the coffee stands around here mean going slightly out of my way, and we'll see. There used to be one at the bottom of the escalator near the bus stop, but if it's gone then I won't bother. We've got an itchy back as well. That's inconvenient. Not much I can do about that. Itch. This is just right in the middle of my back. Just a quick scratch, please. Thank you. Bears always have an itch, so do Yeti. Oh, that's much better, thank you. Thank you. Oh yes. Oh yes, thank you. Anyway, I shall head down to the bus, and maybe I'll speak to you on there if I get the privacy. Alright. Wish me luck, and thanks for the scratch. Hello again. I'm on the bus, 188. I don't know if this goes past Milo's house. It certainly goes near Milo's house. It's the same bus route at the moment, at least, as I take when I go that way. But then, yeah, we're just passing through Elephant and Castle. My friend Owen used to live here years ago, so I used to stay over here sometimes. It's really changed this area. I think my friend Simon, not Simon Sy, another Simon, he lives around here too. I think I've just got to sit on this bus until the destination. It says North Greenwich. I know that means not like the the O2 Arena. I hope that means, yeah. Harry said to cut his sock, but I guess if that's not the termination point, then that's where I'll get out anyway. So, yeah, I think Harry's en route. So, yes, I think I'm probably going to be on here for about another half an hour, 40 minutes. But it would have been a lot quicker by tube. But I quite like seeing the sights, what sights there are, even though it's not a particularly sunny day, although it's not raining yet. There was talk of it raining a lot. I think Callum's up in town today, he said. I think there's a football match up here somewhere. We're going on a different route to the one that I go on to Milo's house. So, yeah. What was I saying? Yes, I think Callum's got a football match up in London today. He said it might be called off because of flooding. And he also said he had to take a different train because the railway line near him is flooded. So, yeah, I think we had a lot of bad rain yesterday. Just hope it will stay dry today, at least until I come home. Considering going out on Monday, depending how I feel, because I looked at the weather map and it's got a big red sun, big yellow sun. So it'll be a good day to go out, but we shall see. I won't be doing anything tomorrow after today, so yeah. Let's just see. No use planning too far ahead. But anyway, my arms are beginning to ache now, so I shall sit and enjoy the view. I found out I didn't bring my earphones. I thought they were either in my coat pocket or in my bag. Seems that's not the case. I'm trying to think when I last used them. I went to see Milo the other day, and so I was using them when I came back from my parents. And then when I went from Milo's house to Waterloo, I then met my friend Charlie, who used to be Milo's flatmate. Not Charlie Gurr, another Charlie. And I can't remember what I did after that. Did I listen to my earphones on the way home? One would presume so, but I don't know. They're probably in the bag that I had with me when I came back from seeing Charlie. But anyway, enough waffle. I shall be in Greenwich soon enough, and then we shall know whether we're going to have lunch or what we're going to do. Well, we'll have lunch in some form, but anyway, yes. Oh, I believe that Harry's been to see Bucks Fizz yesterday. Well, they're not called Bucks Fizz anymore, they're called The Fizz. So I want to ask him about that. Plus, everything he did with his songwriting course with Marcella Detroit, his heroine. Can't remember if I've shared that clip with you yet, where we were talking about that, but anyway, that's what he's been doing recently. Okay, more of it.
I said that I might do it.
I just saw your message. I just realised this. I just realised this was going your route.
I did wonder if you might be in the bus ahead of you or something. Yeah. I think when we get to Greenwich, if you can maybe get a coffee or something.
Yeah, because I couldn't be bothered to get one of them. I kind of wanted one.
I'm trying to wake myself up after last night.
Yeah, I want you to tell me about that.
It was all very last minute because I thought, oh no, we'll call like the next morning. And I just didn't think, because Andrew said to me, because the event started at 7, and he said, they'll be on at 8. And I was sort of thinking in my head, well, would they normally... 188 Wouldn't they normally be like on like quite early? like after 2 hours. So I was thinking in my head it would be 9 o'clock that probably start. They have the warm up from everything that I thought in my head basically happened. It was the warm up was 7:30 till 9, and then they came on at 9. What I wasn't prepared for was a 2 hour set. I mean, they must be ancient.
Yeah, they are. Goodness, they're in their late 60s.
I thought it was going to be. That's the one what I got wrong, isn't it? I thought it was going to be hour 15. 2 hours. At the 1.5 hour stage, they haven't done making your mind up. At the 1.5 hour stage, they all bugger off pretending it's the end of the show. They come back and you say, yeah, making it up. And they do an 80s medley.
But they've also done these new albums recently as well, so they've got new material.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Which Andrew said he didn't like. Anyway, so there's like 6 or 7 bloody 80 medley songs. And then they do, finally, making your mind up in the last dying at 10:50. And there's it's 11 o'clock at night, and I've got to find my way back from OT. Well, it wasn't too hard actually to find my way back.
It's quite a big venue, they must have them. Like, I mean,
no, it wasn't the,
it's the small,
the arena. No,
it's the smaller bit.
The Indigo one, yeah.
It's the smaller. That's why I saw B-52s ones, but still, that means they're still as popular as someone like B-52s who've got like.
I think that they got a bigger showing than they do at Putnam's.
Yeah. You do realise that you were seeing Martin of Detroit's sister-in-law.
It was a bit spooky if I have to tell you that as they were singing, they had a video thing behind it, which was very, very sweet, where it was, them in the 80s singing songs that they're singing now.
I nearly saw them about 5 years ago, maybe more than that now. Paul Hillier was having his stag do in Belfast, and I got as far as paying for the ticket and everything, and they were going to see, they weren't going all the way there to see them, it just happened that they were playing at a club that they were going to, but that was when my legs were really bad, and I thought,
yeah.
if it was in London,
well, I can tell you that you would not have coped. I was there, it was standing, 4 hours from 7 to 11, because he wanted to get there early.
That's why I didn't want to, that's why I didn't go to Belfast, just the whole distance of going there, and also it was, I just thought I'd slow them down, and he was supposed to be there for his stag do.
My legs were just so stiff, and
after my birthday due in November, Callum and I are going to see a band we like in Bath, but he's particularly mentioned it because it's a seated gig.
It was a good night out, but it was a long night out.
Yeah.
They did Land of Make Believe. Once again, they brought at the end.
Hi listeners, we're at Greenwich Market. We're here with Harry and Eric. It's quite a food market today. There were chicken, sage and cranberry Scotch eggs, breakfast Scotch eggs, chorizo Scotch eggs. Very tempted to buy one to take home. We shall see. There's black pudding Scotch egg, lentil and mushroom Scotch egg. Gosh, so much food. So many cakes. Bumped into Harry and Eric on the bus. They were on my bus. Well, they were about to get onto my bus. So, gosh, donuts.
You're looking
particularly Professor Barnes on there. We're looking particularly Professor Barnes.
Might get some from here on the way back. I'll have a look first.
Because it's not going to want to. I don't really want to. I wanted to kill mice. Well, you have to feed it. Yeah, I didn't be paying for it. Pay half.
But no, we'd both have to feed it. Treats.
If I hadn't a lot of effort.
Otherwise, it's just going to attack you.
If I hadn't lived so close to the station, then maybe I would have.
Let it roam a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame.
I think you're a shame. If you wanted to go outside, eat grass, come in and walk over and park it.
I don't really remember having much. It's not like we went looking for dealing. I mean, it's not like we went. I was looking for a cat. I was offered a cat, and you don't get much.
But don't you think you would have got a cat eventually if you hadn't even been offered a cat?
I think I needed it to happen like it happened.
I mean, you grew up with a cat.
I know, but I didn't get a cat for nearly 5 years after I bought my flat. It's not like I got a cat as soon as I got a flat. I would have, yeah. I mean, but I think in a way it happened because it happened when it happened. Because it happened. Right. Somebody said, "Here, do you want a cat?"
Yes.
And it was a friend, and also a friend who let me visit the mother, and also I saw Dee like the day after he was born or whatever, and and then I had time before I bought, before I'm home.
Yeah.
Listeners, we're in Wetherspoons in Greenwich. We had a little look around the market. I was a little bit tired though, so I got some cards. I considered some donuts, but then decided I'd probably get squashed during the day if I bought them, and they're quite expensive. So we're in Wetherspoons now, and I've just managed to negotiate the website to order my lunch. And Harry and Eric are being very healthy, and I'm not. But also I've discovered that they're still doing breakfast till midday, so I'm having a breakfast because I've not had a breakfast here for a long time. So after we've stayed here for a little bit, we should be going to the boat. Still no rain, which is good. It's a good thing. Whilst we have our lunch, you may want to listen to something else. So yes, you should do that. You definitely should. We're on the 12th of February, Monday, 12th of February 1990. Hello, today was sad, boring. Happy 43rd birthday, diary. This being the 43rd day of the year. I saw a lovely bound and boxed diary today for 1990 though, so that wasn't much good. Maybe next year, dear diary. School, it seems the CDT teacher didn't like my drawings. Well, I don't know. That's craft design technology. I was never very good at it. I kind of had to do it because I had to have a certain amount of subjects. I'm not gifted in craft design and technology. Although I did get to the stage where sometimes I did something and my teacher was very encouraging and kind of impressed. For my standards, I did well. So, and I didn't fail the exam, but it's very difficult when you're not that way inclined. Seems the CDT teacher didn't like my drawings. Well, I don't know. I do try. My cold is a little pain. And my little pain, Graham, has a headache. Crying shame. After school, alias the Boredom Factory, I joined them at the McDonald's for a hamburger and spotted Andrew M in there stuffing food with friends. I shopped, chatted to Nick, and then trekked over to Burford Road to meet them at Mrs. Bryn's. That's the Writer's Circle. Posted some letters on the way and avoided the floods. Glug. On returning home to Yeti Manor, as I call it, shouting all water, because it was so flooded, I did my homework and then continued with my video list at 7:45. No posts, so I rang Andy for a bit and then did a couple of parcels. I was going to do a tape for Elaine, but the one I bought dematerialised, I think, so I watched the last Avengers episode on that tape, Escape in Time, with a rather fat Peter Bowles from To the Manor Born fame. He died earlier this year, Peter Bowles. Obviously, the Avengers episode was from the late-ish 60s. Escape in Time, which was great and pretty bizarre. Oh well, I feel rather worn out, so I may just not go to school tomorrow. Oh dear, ho-hum, it's a hard life. No new Nigel episode for nearly 3 weeks. That's that square one thing I was writing. Okay. So we're on Tuesday 13th of February. There was a new science fiction show called Quantum Leap that started today in the UK. And I put, it's great. I did enjoy Quantum Leap for many years, although I don't think I saw the last few episodes so much because I was at university and we were obviously distracted with other things. But anyway. Hi, I got Andrew D's tape. There's so many Andrews, there still are. But there was another Andrew in the Monday entry, which is a different Andrew. Hi, I got Andrew D's tape already, and Andy C's package. Well, that's Andy Ching, who has been on the show recently. But Mum didn't get it posted, ho-hum. I didn't go to school today, so hopefully I've missed dear Mr. CDT's speech. Well, it actually says DT's speech. I presume it's CDT, I don't know. I nearly finished my video list. Yes, really. Nearly. Except for the constant updates I'll have to make to it. Ho-hum. I spent all day doing the list and found the apparently lost in space clips from Season 2, Curse of Cousin Smith and Galaxy Gifts. Ho-hum. That was good. None of this makes sense to me now, so it probably doesn't make sense to you. I had posts from Lee, the 2 Starburst videos, and Kez. Kez was my Australian pen friend. It took 35 minutes each to print the lists. This would have been a list of all of the videos that I owned at this point or had, curated off the TV. So I actually had a list. We used to sort of send each other lists of what we had in our little libraries. So someone might go, oh, have you got that? Oh, I'll swap you that for that. And that's how it used to work back in the early 90s. I've packaged up lists for Russell B, John H and Andy. I watched all the soaps, etc. and called Danny. He said he would be able to video the Invaders tomorrow. He better. I don't know why there's still problems. I don't know if I can't understand. I'm watching the soaps, but why can't I video my own? Unless it clashes with something else. I don't know. I also called Nick to apologise for not being able to get those tapes into him and then had a bath. After good old EastEnders, I rang Russell and John. When I did get through to him, he was doing a video list for me and is posting it tomorrow. John chatted too, and they called me Nick for some reason. John's been on the show. John's more in contact with Nick than he is with me these days, and I don't hear from Russell these days. Andrew Reid rang just before EastEnders. I'll be going back to school tomorrow. I think I've lost my paper round. I don't remember losing my paper round. Unless there wasn't somebody to take over originally. Because one guy gave up. But anyway. Wednesday, 14th of February. Invaders episode Experiment. Roddy McDowell was in the episode. I've put here, must do Anna's tape. Anyway, how are you? Well, we've gone through that old one many, many times before, School was, as usual, pretty boring, and I tried to keep out of the eyes of DT. DT is a person then, not a subject. DT. Oh well, that was fun. Where was I? I didn't get into Nick before school and decided it inconvenient to try afterwards due to my paper round. I don't know how the daily one is set up as yet, only that I won't be doing it for much longer after half term. ? It might be that there was a changeover. I did give up my paper round, unless this is because of my GCSEs, but I thought I gave up when I was going to university, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I gave it up around here. Don't know. Where was I? Repetition. I did the evening free paper round, or most of it anyway. I had some post, one from a new pen pal called Ian, and also from Jeanette. She was the lady who liked Land of the Giants. Finally, I got a card, a Valentine's card from who, I don't know. It was posted in Watford, where I have pen friends. It can't be Heather because she has a boyfriend. Nice bit of a waste of money. I put that there could be somebody else, a friend's sister. I don't know. I wonder, further developments, if I obtain it, it may just says I told my parents about the card that I didn't know who it came from. Of course, it may have been posted from Watford as a joke from somebody else. But The Invaders was brilliant. This pen is smudging like crazy. I think it may have been the first episode I ever saw originally. Scenes I recall. Nick rung, I'm going to meet him tomorrow. Danny did the video for me. I did him a list. Did an Invaders audio, but mucked it up once, possibly twice or thrice. Was going to do a tape to Elaine, but no, we'll have to do it tomorrow now. You might wonder why I would do an audio tape of something I owned on video. Well, it's partly when I did my paper round, because sometimes I had like audio messages from pen pals to listen to. Sometimes I listened to music. Sometimes I would listen to an audio of something that I owned myself. I mean, that went back. I'm sure you've heard Nick and I talking about, when we first met, one of the ways I first kind of knew Nick was that I used to borrow audio tapes of Doctor Who stories that Danny had and would listen to them because, the videos weren't always available or somebody else owned them, but you could at least own the audio tape quite easily. So it was a way of kind of hearing those Doctor Who stories you'd never seen before it became easier to get hold of them on video. We lived in strange times back then. Oh yes, exciting times. Sorry, I'm just trying to read this handwriting. It's not that it's bad, it's just that...
We've got a pheasant in the front garden.
Thursday, 15th of February 1990. Says, I have tapes to do for John, Russell, Elaine and Anna. And that I did another episode of Square One, episode 32. Oh no, or was it 23 days since I wrote episode 32? I don't know if this is where I stopped writing Square One. Nigel did return in other future projects later on. The Copernicus Files in 2000 for one. Hello again, how are we? Ho-hum, school was rubbish as usual, typical routine. I did a letter to Jeanette and Ian and didn't do games, hurrah. After school I met Nick and we swapped videos and stuff. When I got home, I had some posts from John and Russell. The Lost in Space video with their one. They look a lot different to how I imagined them. Again, that's hardly surprising as I've only known them a matter of weeks. Is this a video of John and Russell? I'm not sure. And Nick also knew John and Russell. The video looks good. I also heard from Mr. Mark R. And from Mr. Reed. Oh, well, I had my tea and had a bath which was wet. What? I also finally completed Square One, episode 32. Oh, I did, right. At last, I rang Paul H. and printed out memories again for a school writers competition. After EastEnders, I rang Lee and am now watching a programme called Crystal Maze, which is quite fun and rather weird. That was a quiz game. I guess that was new as well. Gosh, Quantum Leap and Crystal Maze the same week. The village is still flooded and Graham has been seeming better recently. I'm videoing GLC with French and Saunders, etc. that was a Comic Strip Presents episode, I think Kate Bush did a song for it, or maybe she was even in it, but she definitely did a song for it called GLC. It was a B-side to a single of hers. Hello listeners, we're on the boat. I don't know if this is going to be too breezy, but on the boat, and yo ho ho, the bottle of rum. Alas, there is no rum. Oh, shiver me timbers. I think my timbers might be slightly shivered. We've just left Greenwich. We're the only people on the boat. There's more crew than there's passengers.
At Jacob's Island, a district called Thames. Local warehouses are converted into luxury apartments, restaurants, art galleries, and designer clothing shops.
It was talking about what was it? Is it Fagin or whatever?
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist and child gangs, and this horrible bit of London that they were in. And this is now modern day Bermondsey.
They filmed Resurrection of the Daleks around there.
Oh right.
Back in 1984 when it was not like that.
Because all you need to do is adopt a new term.
Oh well.
You can do like a sub-term.
Yeah, that was when back in 1984. That was still like rubble. Well, not rubble, but it wasn't beautiful flats.
Yeah.
It was the last Tegan story. Listeners, we're about to go under Tower Bridge to see the Shard,
the
Gherkin, and the one that looks like the radio thing.
Yes.
But also the walkie-talkie. Yeah. There's also the Tower of London.
When we sail up the Tower Bridge, we will enter the ancient city, known as the Square Mile, that remained there until the 1700s. Later, William the Conqueror built a fortification at the eastern end of the wall. This became the Tower of London, the ancient stone fortress.
So Harry,
we're just going to pop down.
I was just going to ask about William the Conqueror. Was he a real conqueror?
Yes,
a conqueror with legs.
A conqueror with legs. He was the first of his kind. Everybody was surprised. Obviously it fell off of a tree.
Oh, he crashed.
And then, what happened was they boiled it, and then suddenly the legs sprouted.
All right.
So it was the first of his kind, and then obviously went on to the most amazing things in history also.
Yeah. Did they put a string through him?
Yes, and also boiled him again in vinegar, just to make it a bit harder.
All these things. There's so much to learn about the monarchy of Uck. We're at the Tower of London now. We're not. We're on the boat outside of it, but we're inside now because it's quite cold upstairs. But I was going to ask Carrie about how did your writing go with Marcella Detroit?
Oh, that was incredible. Obviously, she's been my musical idol for decades, and then there was this opportunity to write with her and a few other people. And this was all done over Google Hangouts, sort of like a Zoom chat feature. Done over about 4 weeks. And so she was giving sort of top tips and tricks in terms of songwriting. It's mostly around lyrics and stuff like that. And then we all had to come up with titles. and pick one of the titles and then basically then write about that title. And we all came up with lyrics in like one of the final sessions, and we were basically nominating each other's parts for the song, with Marcy coming up with the bulk of the melody, and it was just to have that finished product, the actual song itself, which is a really good song.
And you asked my advice on some variations of lyrics.
Absolutely, yes. No, because I know obviously you've got that sort of skill with your poetry, and when I do my music, I'm mostly about the melody and stuff. But I really wanted to hone that skill, and so it's important for me to actually come up with something. But I wanted definitely come to you for checking through, does this make sense, or what's the better one to go with, or whatever. Which was really helpful to me.
I'm thinking about to try different rhyming patterns, or can't think of the proper word. Well, for instance, years ago I wrote a song which has the same. Basically, you could sing it to "I Will Survive." There are no words. Well, maybe but there are no words that are the same as the lyrics to "I Will Survive."
It's about pies.
Yes, I will eat pies.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I will eat pies, I will survive. It's the same pattern. So I took the whole song and wrote a new. But that made me write in a different rhythm to that I might do usually, because there are definitely a lot of my poems that sound. The story is different, or the words are different, but the rhythm is the same.
Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow, that was overwhelming.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to say something.
Shall we try that one again? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That's so much better. Now, as we break away from Tower here, by law, we are obliged to give everybody a quick safety briefing. Now, it's nothing to be alarmed by, simply just to let you know the boat's name, which is the Millennium City.
The Titanic.
And the boat that you are travelling on this afternoon up to Westminster is safe. We have the most up-to-date life-saving appliances here on board, such as life rings, life rafts and life jackets. And they're situated around the vessel with the international green and cream safety symbols. We are in constant communication with all river traffic out here on the Thames, the emergency services and the Ports of London Authority. So you're in very safe hands. On a lighter note, we have a fully licensed bar downstairs. If you want to grab yourself a drink, and the toilets are just behind the bar. If we have any smokers on board, you can smoke upstairs on the back deck. Now, with a quick show of hands, who understood what I just said? Wow, that's pretty good. Now, with a quick show of hands, who cares what I just said? Even less. This is going to be a long trip, folks. Now, we do have a couple of options for you lovely people this afternoon on your trip up to Westminster. We have a machine up here in the bridge. It is a company provided machine, and it points out a few of the buildings here in London, a few places of interest with some company promotions. Now, I can press play, that's not a problem at all, but if you guys would prefer, I can stay on the mic, share some of my local knowledge that I've gained over the years of working out here on the Thames.
Cruising spots.
In the form of a live commentary. It is completely up to you guys. Now, I can see all of the passengers downstairs on my cameras, and I can see all of the brave passengers up here on the top there.
We were up on the top earlier.
One last quick show of hands. Who would like me to press play? Always one. Oh. I'm only joking. And who would like me to share this journey with you? on the way up to Westminster. Well, that is not a problem at all. Now, I do have to stress, myself and the two captains, we are not professional tour guides by any means. We are simply your crew.
At this point,
so
you
if
probably
we get anything wrong, feel free to keep it to yourself. I'm only kidding. And I do also understand not everybody speaks the English language. So I will speak a little bit slower, more clearer, so our American friends can join in as well. Is everybody happy? Well, that's all that we ask, okay? So we'll start off on the left-hand side. You may or may not see it, because it's camouflage. It is the HMS Belfast. Now the HMS Belfast, it was launched in Belfast, Northern Ireland, on St. Patrick's Day in 1938, in the Harland and Wolff shipyard. That was the same shipyard that built the ill-fated Titanic. It was one of the first British ships to fire her guns in anger on D-Day, and it last saw action in the Korean campaign, but it's now permanently moored here at London Bridge. It is a floating museum. And staying on the left-hand side, you cannot miss it. It is Western Europe's tallest building, the Shard or the Shard of Glass. This is the tallest building in our country. It stands at over 1,000 feet tall, and it's home to the 6-star Shangri-La Hotel. Now you can go up the shop. On the 72nd floor, they have a viewing platform. And the last time I checked, it was around 25 to 30 pounds. And on a clear sunny day, you can see up to 50 miles in any given direction. Now the architect of this shop, he was a very wealthy Italian man by the name of Renzo Piano. And just in front of the shop, we have London Bridge Hospital. This is the most expensive private hospital on the banks of the River Thames. They specialise in heart attacks, because when you get your bill, well, it is very, very expensive. Now we're surely going to be going under the world famous London Bridge. Now people come from all around the world to see London Bridge, and guess what? It's your lucky day, because this is what you get. They mistake this bridge for Tower Bridge, but London Bridge is the famous bridge. It's where the history lies. Now there has been 5 London bridges on this site. The first one was built by the Romans over 2,000 years ago, and it was made out of wood. And the last London Bridge, it was taken down, stone by stone, and it was sold to an American businessman, Mr. McCulloch, and it now stands in Arizona, Lake Havasu, Arizona. With a show of hands, has anybody seen it? Yes. No? It's definitely there, I promise. He actually thought he was buying Tower Bridge. How ironic.
Hey listeners, we're at Westminster Station, Tube Station, underground, on the Jubilee line. We say goodbye to Harry and Eric. Sorry we didn't get to talk to them more. We got interrupted by the boat guy, but still, we had a nice time. I'll tell you more later. My voice has gone all croaky. Too much cold air probably. Anyway, the tube will be here in a second, and then hopefully I'll be meeting my other person who I'm meeting today. We shall see. Alright, the tube is due in 1 minute, but I feel like I can hear it rumbling. I've actually got plenty of time, not due to meet anybody for another hour and a bit. So we shall see. Tube's gone quiet again now. Oh, no, here it comes. Hello, back in Waterloo Station. Waiting. Actually, I'm waiting in the usual place where I usually wait for Milo when he finishes work. But it's near where I'm due to be meeting the other two, if they appear. And I also hear that Callum's in town today, but I won't be seeing him. Well, not intentionally anyway. I'm waiting here because I'm hoping to get a coffee. I was waiting for there to be no queue, so hopefully, imminently. We had a coffee on the boat, actually. Harry got it and it tasted like hot water. There was very little taste of coffee at all. It was quite a disappointment. Very nice that Harry bought it me though, of course. Anyway, hopefully this one will be better. Hello again. Now from the main concourse of Waterloo with a coffee. In fact, a vanilla latte, large vanilla latte. Though they're not really that large. I'd say they're probably about the size they should be for a small. But there we go. Certainly doesn't compare to, say, the Starbucks or Costa Large. But I mustn't grumble. Cafe Nero coffee is pretty good. So yes, waiting by the departure gates, but going to hopefully go for a meal or snack or something in the restaurants just above me, so I don't have to go that far. I won't say who it is I'm meeting yet, because I still don't know. They'll definitely turn up. They probably will.
Like I said,
you might have forgotten who they are. It's been a long time since we recorded with them. I mean, I think I saw them last year, so I've seen them more recently, but I didn't record with them then. Anyway. A shame we didn't get to say goodbye to Harry properly, but yeah. There's still conversations that need to be had with him about working with Marcella Detroit, but I think he enjoyed it, and I was glad to be able to help, and that he valued my opinion on lyrics. So, and as I was saying, I am hoping to do some more poetry based around a template of an existing song, or a rhythm structure of an existing song. And I also came up with a quite good idea for the theme of a poem, which I might write and Harry might do some music for. But we're a very long way off from that point at the moment. Still, I say that, but the song that we did quite recently, that we did an episode about and released quite recently, I think I wrote the poem quite quickly, and Harry converted it into lyrics and wrote the music within about 24 hours. So sometimes when these things start, they happen very quickly. Though of course it took 24 hours to write the song, and then about 6 months to get around to recording it and editing it in a form that Harry was happy with. And at the end, you've still got Harry and I singing. So we didn't turn into Olivia Newton-John or Kylie or Marcella Detroit. You can only do so much. But yeah, I've got an idea for a song. This is where the theme is the person perhaps singing the song once was approached by somebody who they weren't attracted to, who now, years later, they are now very much attracted to, but that person is no longer attracted to them. Because that does seem to happen quite a bit. And I don't know, see how it comes out. Most of my songs come out weird or funny or humorous. Whether they're funny is debatable and up to your taste and up to your sense of humour, I suppose. But anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee now. And I've got about half an hour or slightly more before my next guest shows up, if he shows up. Yeah, okay. Bye for now. More in a minute. This might also be a good point for you to listen to something else whilst I'm waiting and drinking coffee. So, yeah, there might be something coming up now which isn't Waterloo station based. Okay, have a listen, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Friday, 16th of February. It's just that I saw that Andrew M again. I'm surprised how often I kept bumping into him. Andrew was somebody who'd lived in our village until the mid-80s, or maybe slightly later. And although I do remember sort of meeting him once or twice after he left the village, I don't remember bumping into him as regularly as this diary suggests. There we go. I mean, it was difficult because these days, if somebody moved away, you'd just keep texting them or email them, or maybe you wouldn't, but I would probably. But there was none of that. And he wasn't the letter writing sort. I mean, when Paul Hillier and I left, well, when I left primary school, we used to write to each other, and then we got old enough to just meet up, and we were always phoning each other. So, we were very much of a similar mind as far as keeping in touch, which perhaps is unusual. I don't know. Friday, 16th of February, I was going to get on with my audio messages this week, tonight, but I'm feeling rather lazy, so no way, Jose. I'll leave it over the weekend so I can post them on Monday. Ho-hum, school was interesting today. CDT was no problem. Wasn't questioned. I got my report. BCEC, BC, D, CD, CD. So. Room for improvement. This is the trouble. I don't say what subjects those are, but I used to get, goodish marks in English, and everything else I wasn't that great at. So, as I say, I don't know what I'm doing this it's half term now, apparently. I don't know what I'm doing this half term, but it won't be much. But great. See Harry, Nick and Danny. We had an early lunch at school because a dinner lady had died, apparently. We didn't get off school any earlier, but had a great English lesson with Higson, or as I call him here, Higgy. Yeah, he was a character. I wrote 5 letters today to Heather, Russell, Auntie Margaret, Mark R, and the elusive Rachel C. I searched for Starburst after school and found it. Got the 4:15 bus that arrived around 4:45. The only letter I received today was from New Zealand Shane, a newly recommended pen pal who seems okay. Collected some money, caught up with soaps, no writing or anything tonight, but played the Invaders with Graham. Anything for a laugh. We actually make-believe playing the Invaders. Graham would have been 6 or 7. 7 or 8 in February 1990. I'm now watching last week's Campion episode, Dances in Mourning Part 2. It's on in a bit. Bye for now. Seeing Paul H tomorrow. Campion was a detective series. I can't remember if it was set in the 30s or 20s or 30s. Campion was very smart, and he had a butler, and he was played by Peter Davison, who played Doctor Who, the Fifth Doctor. But this was a few years later. So, yeah, it ran for a couple of series, I think. I was all into detectives around this time. Saturday, 17th of February. Hi, did my paper round. This is, half term has now begun. Hi, did paper round, collected money, Paul came over, and that's about as exciting as this morning was. I got a bit of post from Craig S., Evil of the Daleks on audio, and also a tape from Elaine Bull. Of course, all these years later, Evil of the Daleks has been released as an animated adventure DVD, with using that same soundtrack, but now animated. So we've come on a long way in 30 plus years. Also a tape from Elaine. I've really got to get on with my audio messages tomorrow. In the afternoon, I did a lot of shopping and got some Land of the Giants bump. Both The Invaders and Land of the Giants got exactly the same ratings. Not as good as I hoped, but not bad. 3.98 million. 3.98 million would be what, like, EastEnders gets these days. Back in 1990, it wasn't the best ratings for a TV show, but a TV show that had been made in the 60s being repeated at tea time was, and Land of the Giants was sort of Sunday lunchtime. So, yeah. Well, ho-hum, I think I'm meeting Paul on Monday, so that should be fun. I want to watch The $6 Million Man, or so I'm told, when I get home. What? I got my new Invaders box ready. A new box? Oh, the box to put the videotape in. I've probably been enough episodes that I'd used one tape and was moving on to a second tape. With the Invaders, I got nice hard tape boxes and did ticker tape lettering and stuff. Don't think I did that for the whole run. And now, of course, I own it on DVD. Many years later. I got my new Invaders box ready and things added to the files. Oh, was that the video file? Oh well, didn't do much after tea. I rang Andy, but he was out, so I rang Jeanette and had a bit of a chat. By the way, the time is now 9:24, in case you were wondering. No, you weren't. Nor was I. I just thought I'd use up some space. Andrew R. rang, and we had a nice long chat about nearly everything. This is a fun day, so much to say. I saw Nick today, and it's been fun, baby. Well, ta-ta for now. I have a feeling that I didn't have a great deal to say that day, so I was trying to drag it out. Sunday, 18th of February, Land of the Giants Bounty Hunter. Andy rung today. Last night's video no work properly. What? I'm writing this a bit early because Bergerac is on early too. I love that I'm mentioning Bergerac. Right, what did I do today? The first thing that comes to mind is the paper round, which I must have finished around 10 o'clock. I had a bath and came down and cooked a gorgeous breakfast. It really was this time. Mucked about a bit, then had lunch. Land of the Giants was so-so today, and I did a bit of 101 Things More Likely to Happen list whilst watching it. What? I just spotted Gory Castle on Bergerac. We recorded the podcast from Gory Castle on the island of Jersey about 5 years ago. Toby and I went to Jersey. I did a bit of tape to Elaine, and I mean to continue later, but mostly I ended up fighting with Graham. Surprise visit by old friend Sarah P. was probably the highlight of the day, and a break from fisticuffs with Graham. After tea, I marked up some of the latest Invaders tape and generally did things like that. Mrs. Bryn rang and we arranged a date for Writers' Circle for Wednesday. So I rang Harry and hopefully I'll be going to his house on the same day and can go straight to Dan's, who I also chatted to, and watch the Invaders whilst he videos it for me. Then go right over to the meeting after that. I don't know if this plan is certain as yet. Otherwise, who knows? Bergerac isn't bad. The episode's called Love and War with Brenda Bruce, who was about the only good bit about Paradise Towers. That's a Doctor Who story. I must dash. I've got work to do. Well, that's it. That's it for this recording. Hello, listeners. We're at, what's this place called? Japanese place. Udon something. Oh, Marugem Udon. I'm here with Dr. Neff. Dr. Neff, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
As you may remember, listeners, Dr. Neff lives with Charlie. Charlie Gurr. When Charlie Gurr's in town, obviously Charlie Gurr has Bear-Gurian residencies, and he's always going to other places. But Neff, what is Charlie like to live with?
Very good.
Well, that's bound to happen, isn't it? Really, but don't believe him, listeners. He's very devoted to Charlie. We've known Charlie a very long time. What did you think, Neff, when you first met Charlie? What attracted you to adopt him?
He has very big feet.
Oh, yeah, he does have very big feet. Yeah, he's very stylish. I've seen pictures of him. He changes his outfits, and he's very fashion conscious. What is his favourite fashion? What clothes does he wear that you're most impressed with?
He tends to go for red color. He likes red.
Yeah.
But just normal t-shirts, as long as they're red.
Yes. I remember we used to buy him t-shirts from like IKEA, but we'd tell him they were very expensive. We said they were from the most expensive boutiques, and he believed us. But they were really from IKEA, not IKEA. What's that place? TK Maxx or Primark. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, he had some really cool hoodies from Primark, and he thought they were like from the top London boutiques. I think things are quite different in Bear-Guria, but what has he been doing recently? Is he causing havoc, or is he being a good bear?
He starred in a movie recently. He was Cocaine Bear.
I guess I didn't realise he had his paws involved in that film, but I guess it makes sense. Has he been releasing any more music? You must get to hear his songs when he's like doing the early demos.
No, just he's been quite busy doing advertisement for his movie. He became very famous after that movie.
Yeah, well, he goes from one famous thing to another famous thing. He's perpetually famous. He's been a bit cross with me because sometimes he does pie seances, and he's been receiving messages through the pies from me from another dimension, telling me to go and visit them in the other dimension, and I don't want to. So he's a bit cross though, because every time he talks to a pie, he gets these other messages that come in the way. So I have told him we'll sort it out, but I hope he's not cross with me anyway. But well, Dr. Neff, thank you very much for telling us all about how it is living with Charlie Gurr. And before we go, tell me something about Charlie that the listeners wouldn't know, some secret, some little something that is secret.
He likes making guacamole with real moles.
Oh yes, this is true. I remember that. Yeah, poor old moles. Anyway, well, we better get back to eating our food, and yes, I'm sure we'll speak to Dr. Neff again soon, and he'll update us about life with Charlie. Thank you very much, Dr. Neff.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, listeners. Well, I'm back on the train. Dr. Neff was my surprise guest. Didn't say much, but what he said was enlightening, and when you live with Charlie Gurr, you get used to not seeing a great deal. We're nearly home actually, so I keep getting interrupted today, don't I? Every time I start speaking, somebody else wants to speak. Yes, right. So I think this is a good sign that I should probably say goodbye. But thank you. Yeah, I think this is probably a good sign that I should shut up and say goodbye and say I hope you enjoyed our adventures today, and I'm sorry I keep getting interrupted every time I speak. Well, or Harry does. But, here she goes again. Yeah, right. I'll say goodbye, and well, there'll be a bit at the end, of course. So it's not really goodbye; it's just au revoir. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay. Did you have a nice day? I did, Cromarty, I did. Yeah, do you want to say goodbye to the listeners whilst you're here? Oh, you heard about that? Yes, I heard you kept getting interrupted by voices. I did. A little bit. Well, you know, Harry was telling us about stuff, but then I started to sort of respond and say about, you know, us writing another song together. And then we got interrupted. And then when I was saying goodbye on the train, I got interrupted. But, you know, what do you expect? Oh, yes, but I understand. Oh, dear, oh, dear. So, it was a good day, though. Yeah, good day. Saw Harry, of course. Harry and Eric. And then saw Neff and Ross. And we had chicken katsu curry again. Rather like I did a few weeks ago with my friend Robin and Daria, yeah, we had some ice cream as well at the end, cherry ice cream, although it tasted more caramelly than cherry, but yeah, still good though. Oh, it sounds marvellous, Paul. It's good that you got out. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I shall definitely have a rest tomorrow. Oh, I think you should, Paul. Oh, I think I hear the title music coming. Oh, yeah, so do I. Well, listeners, I'll try and say goodbye again without getting interrupted. Before Yeti and John gets here. Yes. Okay, listeners, bye for now. And, yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye, listeners. Goodbye. I gotta go now! Bye! Gotta go! Bye! Goodbye.
It's been good, but yeah, definitely time to come home now.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Goodbye. Yeah, goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
So, Paul, where exactly did you go? I went to Greenwich, when I went on the train, then I went on the bus, and then turns out that I was on the bus that Harry was getting on, and we went to Greenwich, we went to the market, and that was a bit tiring. There were no seats, really, in the market. I did buy some cards, though. I would like to have bought a donut, but they're quite expensive, and I really did need to sit down. Oh, dear, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you know, I think I did pretty well. Yeah, quite a lot of distance was covered. Oh, yes. Greenwich Market, you say? Oh, I used to have a stall in Greenwich Market once. Didn't last long. Oh, right. When was that? Oh, what about now? 10 years ago, maybe. Before the days of the podcast, anyway. Oh, right. So what happened? Well, I made some T-shirts and had this, the usual problems that I have with my T-shirts. Oh, right. What, the ink wasn't dry? Yeah, no, the ink wasn't dry. It looked dry. Oh, Deals. Come on, Deals. Come and join us. Come and join us, Deals. Yeah, come on, Deals. Come on, we're just talking about what I've been up to today. Come on. How are you? How are you doing? You all right? You all right? Yes? No? No, he's not speaking now. Oh dear, what's wrong with you, Deals? Oh, he's actually been asleep most of today. You've been asleep, have you? Well, you missed out. You missed out on chicken katsu curry and a full English breakfast. You had a full English breakfast and chicken katsu curry? Well, yeah, I was with two different sets of friends. Oh dear. Oh, you greedy thing, you. Thank you. Well, so these T-shirts, people bought them, they went outside and it rained and, yes, all the print came off all over them. Most embarrassing. Never mind. I wasn't asked back. Oh dear, Yeti Uncle John. Well, it's a nice place, Greenwich Market, but they need more seats. They definitely need more seats. Just a few around the edges. Oh dear, Paul. Oh no, never mind. It was a good day. Well, I'm glad. And maybe there'll be many more this year. Oh, I'll definitely hope so, Paul. You might want to take me along with you next time. You just want the chicken katsu curry. Oh, it's the full English I was after. Sounds nice. Still to get two in one day. I know. Lucky, eh? Oh, very lucky. Yeti Uncle John. We're as bad as each other. Oh, here we are. Except you're the one who got both meals, and I got none. Oh, dear.
Dealy! Hi, Dealy. Oh, kitty, Dealy. Purr, kitty. Oh, I love Dealy. This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I lost... What's going on? What happened?
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness, that was a darling little shoe. 639. Well, gotta tell you, I didn't expect that.
We got a pheasant in the front garden.